Hello. What's everybody do? What's going on?
Good morning, good afternoon. Serenity now. I love serenity now.
Yes, you do. I hear a little bit in the background your,
Do you
what's
hear
it called?
that?
The wind chime.
I love that wind chime.
It does sound really pretty.
It's so beautiful. I love it. I was at Ross. Was it Ross? I think it was Ross. And I was in search of a wind chime, but I just didn't want any wind chime. I was like, I want something to have a really nice sound to it. And I found this in the clearance section. And I like played around with it in the store, and once I heard the sound, I was like, that's it. That's the one.
That's the one.
That's the one.
So this goes perfectly with our episode today, which is about those beautiful sounds that, like, you know, calm you, give you serenity now.
Meditation.
Especially for the new year now, I think everybody should take time to, like, cleanse your body, your mind, and your home.
Yes.
And this is what we're talking about today.
I think along with exercise,
Mm-hmm.
you know how everybody says, I don't have time. We have time.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to want to do it.
Yes.
Right? I think what happens is
You need to make time.
that people don't want to do it.
Yeah.
They want to, but they don't want to.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. And so when people tell me, you know, I don't have time to meditate. Yeah, you do. You do, because you can't have total chaos 24/7 in your life.
I couldn't.
Right?
I couldn't function.
You can't tell me you don't have 10 minutes every day to meditate.
Absolutely.
Or if you don't want to meditate, to sit in silence, right? Because that's a form of meditation, whether you realize it or not. So if your house is so chaotic in the mornings, at a certain time, wake up, 15, 20 minutes early. If you don't want to do it early in the morning, which I recommend you do, because it's more beneficial in my world and in so many other worlds, that you're starting off your day with a clear mind, you have more peace, you feel lighter.
It kind of like sets your tone for the day.
Yeah.
If you were to do it in the morning.
It really does.
So I hear.
And so...
Because I've never done it before.
And so if you want to do it in the afternoon, let's say, when your kids are at school, if you're a stay-at-home mom or dad, and that's a perfect time to do it. Sit down, and take time for you and reflect on your day.
Well, you definitely need to do it when it's like a quiet time during the day,
definitely.
Right?
No television, no radio, if you want to meditate in that type of environment, good for you. I don't know too many people that do that,
I don't know if that would even be beneficial or possible, to be honest.
It's not a good idea to do that.
Yeah.
You want a secluded, quiet space where you can dedicate to yourself, right? To your healing, to your mind, to your higher energy. And so I meditate in my Florida room. And I normally do it in the mornings, because I drop off my daughter at school and I come back home and then I sit and I meditate.
And that's when you do it?
And that's when I do it. I'll make my coffee in the morning and I'll have a little coffee, and then I don't drink all my coffee because that's part of my morning ritual as well. Like, I don't know how much you enjoy your coffee in the morning, but I do, because I take my time drinking it and, whatever.
Your café con leche, of
my
course.
café con leche that I love. And then I sit in my Florida room, have a really nice view of my yard, have my wind chime outside.
A lot of light, a lot of natural light that you have. Yeah.
Yes. And I have a little table off to the side with my little tree, and I have my Buddha, and I have my selenite lamp, and I have other little candles and stuff. And so that's my space.
Yeah, it's important to create a space, I think.
Yes. So I highly recommend that you create your own little space with things that you like, that things that bring you joy, that bring you some sort of calm and peace and connection, basically, with what you're doing. Yeah.
You shouldn't try to do meditation and have a picture of, like, your ex-boyfriend or somebody that you hate.
Vaya.
This is not the time. So you take it for kickboxing or something.
Yeah. And so then sometimes, so one of my desires is that, sometime down the line when I change homes, whenever that'll be, is that I want to have my own room.
I was going to say, some people have their own room, dedicated to something like that. And I'm going
to call it my Serenity Now room. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to have my own meditation room,
and you're going to lock it?
And I'm going to lock it. Because sometimes I say to my daughter, you're always in my room. Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to take your room, mm-hmm. convert it into my meditation room. And then she's like, no, Mom, where am I going to put my stuff? I'm like, well, who cares? Because at the end of the day, you're always here and you seldom use your things. So,
let's just share a room.
I'm going to, she hasn't moved out yet. You know how the kids move out and then you turn it into whatever room you want.
That's coming.
And so I want to do it now instead of when she moves, which is 10 years from now.
Okay. So let me ask you, how did you get started into meditating?
Well, I've always been very interested in spirituality. Mm-hmm. And I started becoming more spiritual. I think as things happen to you, you want to know why, or at least I did. And I wanted to know, aside from believing in God, and everybody believes in their own God and whatever you want to call that God, we're connected in some way, shape, or form. Mm-hmm. And things started occurring in my life that had me question certain things, right? Mm-hmm. And so then I started saying to myself, I'm connected here much more than I see, than I feel, than I realize. And as we walk around, we don't even understand the level of chaos that we live in, right? So
agreed.
We're 24/7. We're always on, and then you seldom have time to connect with yourself. And so I said one day, I really need to be more in tune with me. And I started reading about spirituality more and different types of religions and their forms of meditation and just beliefs in general. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter that you believe in God if you want to believe in, a Buddha, or if you want to believe in anything else. Like I said, you're connected. So in reading and certain things that were happening to me, and I'm just very intuitive by nature, and things happen to me and I get a lot of signals and I get things that come to me in my dreams and all these things. And then I started, researching and putting things together. And I'm like, okay, these are symbols, these are signs. Maybe I'm supposed to be doing something else. And then lo and behold came meditation.
It manifested in that way.
And then,
because, when you put something out there, like I need this, I'm missing this, I'm looking for this in my life, it manifests. And, right. I think the world or God, again, however, if you want to believe it or not, but I believe in that. When you're asking or questioning certain things in your life, or what's my next path, or what should I do, then things show up manifested in, different ways. And it manifested for you in meditation, let's say.
In meditation. So I would play with it, right? Because I'm like that. And I'm like, okay, I need to get hit over the head with a 2x4 to get it sometimes. Like many of us do, right? So, and then I was like, wait a second. And when I would meditate, I would realize that I was able to manifest things quicker. And then things would come to me. And by that I mean signs, symbols, even words. Things come to you as you're doing this because you're in a different realm. You're grounded. You're more in tune. I can't even begin to explain it unless you're doing it and you're feeling these things. Your vibration changes, your attitude changes, your demeanor, I'm sure your molecular structure inside your body changes, right? Even in your brain.
I was reading some of your things that we're going to get into it and how it has benefits for diabetes, for even high blood pressure, things like that. So it's incredible. I didn't know that.
It's a very good source for your body, for your mind, just everything that is you. And I would sit there and I would say, okay, so, let me visualize this, and let me just concentrate on my breath. And then as you're breathing, you get certain things coming to you. You see, not see with your eye, but you'll get signals, you'll get clarity. Meditation allows you to be more focused. It allows creativity to flow better. It's very beneficial for your body. So as I'm doing this, I'm starting to get different indications of things that are happening to me and in my surroundings and my manifestations in general. And I'm saying, wait a second, this is good. This works. I'm like, I like this. So then I kept doing it more and more and more. And then I would get, throughout the day, you get your little signals, right? Everybody's always asking for a sign, right? You'll get a sign. And then you're like, wait a second, is that a sign or is that not a sign? It goes back to what we've said before with that Jim Carrey movie and Bruce Almighty. He's like, I just need a sign. And he keeps getting hit with all these physical signs. The stop sign, the yield sign, the don't walk sign, and, all these things. And then, those things start happening to you. I think you're more in tune with a higher, better vibration, and things come to you and flow into your existence more easily. And you get more of the good stuff instead of all the chaotic bad stuff, So, and then I was like, wait a second, I'm going to keep doing this. But as we all know, it's very difficult to quiet the mind. How do you start? Basically, there's a meditation that it's called transcendental meditation, or some people refer to it as compassion meditation.
Would you think that's that kind of like beginner, like meditation 101 type of thing?
I think so, because like I said, quieting the mind is very difficult. It was difficult for me at first because you sit down anywhere and you're decompressing, basically. So depending on what type of job you have, what type of person you are, what your personality is, it's very difficult to sit and automatically be on. On what I'm saying is in a space of nothing. No,
I think it's very hard it's not like that I can't disconnect, but it is hard for me to like disconnect. Like I'm always doing something. And if I'm not doing physically something, I'm thinking about something, or I'm writing down what I need to do next, or what I need to do tomorrow, or, and I think that's pretty much everybody nowadays. I mean, we're always on, basically. But, so how long have you been meditating? How long have you been doing it?
I've been meditating now, I want to say for 3 years.
And pretty much like on a daily basis, right?
On a daily basis.
And when you started, how many minutes did you, how long did you start?
So hard.
Yeah.
I remember when I first started, I was like, 2 minutes. Okay, done. I was like, no, because you sit there and you're like, 100 miles an hour.
It's kind of like physically impossible, right? When you start, it's like something that I should be doing something else. I should be doing something productive. I shouldn't be, right?
Yeah, it's not impossible. It's just hard.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're so used to doing the opposite.
Yeah.
And then, so I would sit there and like anybody else, and you sit there and you're like, okay, wait, hold on. And then you're sitting there, you're trying to meditate, and you're trying to like, get into a different headspace. And then you start thinking about like what you said earlier. Oh, wait, did I pay this? Okay, hold on. And then you go back to center, and then you're like, wait a minute, what about the, no, what, that's how it feels when you're first starting to meditate, and then you kind of get a little frustrated.
Yeah.
Right? So
I feel that too even when I'm getting a massage. I'm like thinking about these things. I'm like, I shouldn't be thinking about anything. I should just be focused on the freaking massage.
That happens in the massage.
Yes.
And
that happens to me all the time.
It's actually, that's a good point, because when I used to get massages, I was like that too. And then I'm like, no, I just want to relax. I just want to relax. I'm going to relax. And then you'd start thinking of all these things. But I think meditation has helped me with that, because
I bet
in the last few massages that I've had, that doesn't happen to me anymore, right? Because now, as I'm laying there, I put myself.
It's kind of like a meditation session, right?
Yes, but
you try it.
But I put myself into a feeling of gratitude. That's hard.
Okay.
if you're not used to it, because then you go back to the whole mind racing thing, right? And then, believe it or not, as that's happening, your muscles are not loose. They're tense still, because your body is in a constant state of tension. And so you're doing the opposite. You're going to get a massage to relieve all the tension and the stress that you have, yet your mind is creating the tension and the stress while you're trying to de-stress the body through a massage. So what I do is I go into a state of gratitude.
So English, please.
What that means in English is I release any form of tension that I may have through thinking of the gratitude for receiving the massage. And so as I'm laying there, I thank, I thank God, I thank my body, I thank the universe, I thank the angels, I thank the spirits, I thank the ascended masters, I thank everybody.
Thank you for the gift card for getting this massage.
Well, I don't thank the actual individual, which I really should, but I thank them in person enough. So I go into just a thankful state of gratitude while I'm receiving this. And I've realized that by doing that, it allows me to detach from all of the stresses that I normally have on a day-to-day basis, right? That some are even self-imposed, because do you need to walk around every single day thinking about every little thing that you need to do? No. But we're so hard on ourselves normally that we do it. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. You're just doing it.
I think it's, it's become like and I've noticed that in myself lately. I've been like, I keep lists, which I think help me with getting it out of my brain and onto paper. And then it's like a way of like, okay, checking things off the, I feel productive, whatever. I got something done. It's done. It's out of my, But at the same time, you start writing stupid shit on that list that is like things that you would do every day.
I know. Brush my teeth.
That's exactly what I was thinking about. Yeah. I have to cook. I have to buy, it's like, oh my God, it's like the stupid shit. And sometimes I'm like, do I really need to put this on the freaking list? So I've noticed that I'm kind of like, I don't want to say nitpicking is not the right word, but like
just
too many things, too many little things on the list that is like, oh my God, it's like, and then it becomes counterintuitive. It's like, I have to do so much shit on the list now. The list is like way too long. And like, what the hell?
Do you really need to accomplish everything on that list within a certain time frame? Sometimes you do, sometimes you don't.
No.
And so then these are more stresses and more pressure that people put on themselves on a daily basis. Yeah. Just because we're programmed that way, right? So
I think it's like for a long time, it's kind of like your currency. Being busy is like your currency. And it's like, if you don't sound like you're busy enough, it's like lazy, you're not doing anything, you're not productive, you're not achieving anything in your life. You're like all these stupid things come, because that's what everybody talks about when you go to a party and everything. I'm so busy and I'm at work and at this, and it's like, and then you feel like shit. I'm not busy. Is there something wrong with me that I'm not doing anything with my life? I don't know.
Unfortunately, when you go somewhere and you're first meeting somebody, what's one of the first questions that they ask you?
What do you do for a living?
What do you do? Yeah. Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
So what do you into?
Yeah.
What do you, do you...
What are your hobbies?
What are your hobbies? Like, what do you like to do? Nothing. We're always on. What do you do for a living? It's like, how much money are you making? How much this? How much that? What about taking a step back and being like, hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Are you... I mean, it's weird.
And then what do you do for a living?
Because if I don't know you and I come up to you and I'm like, hey, how are you? You're going to be like, this girl's weird.
You are weird.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're not used to that. And so we're not interacting on a basis that allows us to connect in any way with each other or ourselves. Yeah. And so I had this conversation with this judge a few weeks ago at a party. And it struck me as fascinating because when I first met her, we didn't go into, hey, what do you do? What do you do? Where do you work? Where do you work? Like that. We just had such a free-flowing conversation about recipes. And it was so refreshing. And I was like, this is so nice. Yeah. And then towards the end of the conversation, she was like, by the way, what do you do for a living? and then it came up like that.
Yeah.
But from the onset, it was totally different from and mind you, this was a work / social event, for the holidays, which I found very interesting because I said, wow, if people communicated like this more often, it kind of relieves pressure, it relieves stress, it relieves a lot of things, whatever. But long story short, she was a nice woman, and we had a great conversation.
And you got a good couple recipes out of it.
Yes, and I got a great recipe for dessert, which I don't need right now because that's another story.
So let me ask you, when you first started meditating, how long did you do it for? Like literally like 2 minutes? That's all you could do?
I couldn't. I would sit there and I was like, okay, how do I do this? And I watch YouTube videos. And I was like, okay, no, I can't just watch YouTube videos. I have to read. I have to get in tune with myself. And then little by little, it was like 2 minutes. And then it was so bad. But, hey, I'm sure everybody does this, or a lot of people go through this. And I would pick up the phone, and I would look. I was like, ay, coño, that was only 2 minutes? And then, okay, whatever. And I would close my eyes again. I was like, I'm going to try. And then I would look at my phone, and it was like 5 minutes. And I was like, oh, my God, 5 minutes. But it was torturous. It was 5 minutes of nothing.
Yeah.
It was 5 minutes of just... Your mind is constantly racing.
It's hard to quiet the mind.
Right?
Yeah.
So it was not productive at all. But in retrospect, it is because you are...
No, you got to start somewhere. It's not going to happen at the beginning.
Because you're starting. And so then there's a website, tm.org, and it's Transcendental Meditation. And basically, this is considered an effortless technique for recharging the mind and the body. And it's exactly what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, so you're not trying to control your mind. You're not trying to take everything out. It's kind of like a forgiving beginner's meditation type thing. So you start doing it, your mind wanders a little bit. You got to come back to center. You're wandering. Try to bring yourself back.
Yeah.
And that's how basically you're training yourself to get to a different level of meditation for a more longer time and all that. I firmly believe that breathing is very essential to your meditation. Okay. So before I start meditating, I do my breathing exercises. I get in tune with myself. And then, I go into meditation, which now when I meditate and I sit down and after I do my breathing, my mind, I want to say for the first half second will wander, but then it's nothing. It's like instant. It's like, but it takes a while to get there because you're not used to it. Yeah.
So how long do you meditate for now?
So now, depending on my morning, I will meditate anywhere from 20 minutes to half an hour.
Nice.
Which is not a long time because there's a monk that I follow sometimes on social media, and that man will sit in silence because monks are trained to meditate for hours. And he says that he goes every morning, he gets up, he has his ritual, he goes, he takes a shower, he says hi to his family because he's married. He's not a traditional monk.
He's not a monk.
But he follows his monk. No, he considers himself a monk.
Yeah.
The only thing is that he's married.
Yeah.
There's just like pastors that can get married and whatever. And he takes a shower and he goes into his little meditation room. He sits in there an hour every day. Nobody can bother him. Nobody knocks on the door. Nothing. It's like 1 hour straight meditation.
I wonder what his wife thinks.
I think she's okay with it. Because basically, what are you going to do? Yeah. You have to be okay with it.
He's a monk, so that's kind of like his job.
I mean, he was meditating like that for more hours before he met you.
Probably.
So it's like, listen, Linda, you need to...
Ahora es like, ¿qué te vas a meter? That wouldn't happen in a Cuban thing. ¿Qué tú vas a meter? Y yo te desayuno.
No. That's like, yes. Imagine you telling your Cuban husband, boyfriend,
that you need to meditate an hour every morning.
Vete para allá, sale de la casa por 1 hora, que necesito meditar.
That's when everybody wants something in your house.
Yes.
That's when everybody will go.
No, so I have my daughter trained because I tell her, like on the weekends, it's harder, right? Because she's home. Mm-hmm. So in the mornings, I say, hey, I'm going to meditate. Please. If you need anything, tell me now. If not, please don't disturb me because I don't have my little room with a door and everything and a lock, and all that other stuff. Yeah. And she's really good about it. She'll sit in there and I said, listen, when I'm done, I will come back and let you know I'm done. So on some occasions when I've already done it, but I'm still sitting there because I'm still decompressing and unifying myself. Mm-hmm.
Putting yourself back together.
Yes. She'll come. She's like, Mom, are you meditating? I said, no, I'm done. So, yeah, she's mindful of that. Good. Which is good, too, because mindfulness is something that...
It's part of it.
You need when you're doing that. And it really does help you mentally. It really does. It's amazing.
You were talking about a little bit of the breathing. And you know what I've been doing lately, which I noticed by whatever, just because I did it one time and I was like, oh, this works. Whenever I have a hard time falling asleep, I take like deep breaths. And that really helps. Like it kind of like, I don't know, I guess, how they say like when you're yawning and stuff is like this like lack of oxygen. But I've noticed like breathing, like it just kind of makes me sleepy. I don't know, like, I breathe a few times and I feel like so much like calmer or whatever. And it really helps me fall asleep, I think, quicker. I've been doing that lately.
Because you're really you're relaxing your body, you're relaxing your muscles, you're relaxing your mind. Think about it. We're always sitting either at a desk or running around or whatever. I don't even think people realize that they're not breathing.
Yeah.
How many times are you doing
we're breathing,
stuff?
Otherwise we would be
but what I'm saying is like...
Yeah. Like actually, yes.
When you take a breath, as you're exhaling, you can feel the release, right? Your shoulders, your neck muscles, everything, your diaphragm, everything is releasing. Well, but you're sitting there, you're just you're not breathing. Yeah. You're breathing in the sense of like you're taking a little breath because you need to breathe to live, but you're not.
Yeah, exhaling. Inhale, exhale. Yes. Which is why they tell you whenever you're like upset or whatever, it's like take a breath. Inhale, exhale, and because it really does help you with like calming and like
you sit. So sometimes I sit in my Florida room and I'm like, hi. You can envision that you have a lanai and you could go and you could be like,
you're in the south of France.
Yes, entonces viene tu madre o tu esposa o whoever or a grandmother or what. ¿Qué lanai? Ni santo lanai. Eso es un Florida room. You're there like, okay, thanks. That's why you need your own space.
Yes.
But, I mean, you could, listen, you can go out onto your terrace.
Yeah.
And just take 5 minutes and sit there and just look at everything. You look at the greenery. You look at the grass. You look at the flowers. You hear the birds. You look at the sky. You get a little sun.
Well, do you do the meditation with your eyes closed?
Yes.
Okay. Because, that's how I would do it. Like, I think what happening with your eyes open is kind of like distracting at the same time.
No, meditation involves
concentration.
Concentration, but not so much that you're like focusing on, everything. Mm-hmm. It's more of you close your eyes and then you just be. You're still. You're connecting with your body, with your mind, with your source, whatever source that is for you. Yeah, like even outside, as you do it more, you have more of an appreciation for
nature,
for your life, you see things differently. Mm-hmm. You just see everything so differently. And when you sit outside, you're grateful. It heightens your vibration to a point that you're much more grateful for everything that you have, for the way that you perceive things. And believe it or not, as you start coming more into that state of gratitude, more good things come to you.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
It's just, it's a trickle effect.
Yeah.
I see it. I've experienced it and I feel it. And I can even predict. I said, okay, I'm like, this is what I want. This is what I want. I'm going to give you it. I mean, some people might hear this and be like, that's stupid, or that's not a big deal, you know, but I think it's a big deal. So when I want to manifest something, normally it happens, right? Sometimes we're not seeing that it happens, but it does happen. I mean, you just have to be more aware. So something happened with my car, you know, in front of my house. Somebody hit my car or whatever last year. And I was upset about it. And, you know, I was praying about it and all this stuff. And I was like, okay, you know, how am I going to handle this now? Because now I have this expense, you know, this sucks and, you know, whatever. So I went into my meditation for a long time and for many days, and I left it alone, right? And I was like, okay, yeah, I got to deal with the reality. This is what happens. Yeah. You know, you let it go. And then fast forward to the end of the year, my sister recommends somebody, because I had gone to 2 people already and their estimate was a little high. I didn't want to have to spend that much. And then I went to this man, and before I got to his house, my daughter was in the car with me, and she's like, Mom, how much do you want to pay to fix your car? And I said, well, in an ideal world, nothing, because it wasn't my fault. And she goes, come on, Mom, but you know that's not going to happen. And I said, yes, I am aware of that, because this person that I'm going to that's his job. You know, he's not going to tell me, well, better for me if he tells me free, right? And I said to her, I really don't want to pay more than $400 for this. And she's like, really? You know, because leave it up to a kid to be like totally honest in your face. Yeah. And I said, yes, really, that's my number. No more than 400. So I get to the place, and the guy, you know, we hit it off, and you know, I was in a good frame of mind, and
you were projecting,
yes,
400,
and then we're talking and whatever, and you know, I'm a brass tacks girl. I'm like, come on, dale, dime. And I said to him, okay, you know, so what is this going to cost me? And he looks and he goes, $380. I was like, bingo! I was like, I'm back! And I after I finished, I was like, I get in my car and I look at my daughter. She goes, Mom, wow. And I was like, yes, thank you. And I was like, yes.
And $20 to spare, baby.
Dude, that $20 made me so happy. I was so happy. I was like, yes. Yeah. You know, so.
I totally believe in like manifesting and stuff, and like making things, you know, come to fruition. Like, yeah, definitely.
And sometimes too, and I'm guilty of that, you know, we want something so much that we're harping on it every day. So I found that when I just
let it go,
yes, or leave it alone.
Yes.
You know, just put your manifestation out there and leave it alone.
It's like a freaking, like we have a pimple, when you have a little scab, if you keep picking at it, it's never going to go away. So whenever you have something in your mind, like, I don't know, my God, this person hasn't called me, or this guy you know, like whatever, relationship, job, whatever. Even when you're like upset at someone, sometimes you're just like, let me just think about it. Let me just let it go for a couple of days. Let me see how I feel in a couple of days. And before I answer that email, you know, in an angry way, let me just let it go. 90% of the time is like, you either doesn't matter to you anymore, or you know how to handle it in a better way, more calm way.
And through meditation, you can achieve those things, right? Because it teaches you how to be more at peace with everything, in essence. So I'll grab my phone and I'm like, I haven't heard from, you know, I was waiting to receive this thing or whatever. And then I see, like, within a matter of hours, it comes. Or the next day, I'll get something, you know, because I put it out of my mind. Yeah. But then when it comes back in, it's a question. It's almost like you're so in sync with you and
the universe.
Yes. God.
The powers that be.
And everything that aligns with you, that it's bound to happen. What you want is bound to come. Yeah. And through meditation, it helps you. It really helps you with the alignment of you, of your life, of everything that's in your life. You're much calmer. Yeah. You know, you learn how to deal with your children better. you're not so conflicted when something comes at you. You're more analytical. You're less argumentative, or I hope you are.
Yeah.
Because if you're doing this and you're still in that state, then
you're not doing it right.
Then you need more than meditation. I hate to tell you that. But even with kids, even
te voy a dar una pastillita.
Sí, una pastillita 2 veces al día.
So what about like concentration meditation? Is that something that's done like you're focusing on an object type of thing? Am I reading it right or no?
Okay, so when you need like additional focus and concentration in your life, this is something that you want to do because so I do a combination of mindfulness and concentration meditation.
Oh, I see. Okay.
To me, they say that mindfulness meditation encourages you to observe wandering thoughts as they drift through your mind. And so your intention is not to get involved with the thought or judge them, but to basically just be aware of how they move around you and how you feel about it. Okay. Right? So yes, I think sometimes when you're meditating, you're going to feel certain things. You get signals. It's just difficult to explain because everybody's different. So I'm sure everybody goes through a different experience. And then concentration meditation is more ideal for anybody who requires like additional focus and concentration on their life. But your brain gets more focused. It unifies. So you're more detailed, right, about objects, about exploration. You're not as easily distracted. So I think that those two together are actually very good because it gives you a balance, right? So when you're meditating, these things come into play because when you're done, like I said before, you're seeing things and experiencing things in a whole different way. It's just so different. Yeah. You know, you're not as aggressive. You're not as stressed. You don't have as much tension in your body as you normally do if you don't meditate, right? Like they say, yoga too is very good to incorporate within your exercise routine because not only does it allow for flexibility and agility, but it also helps with movement and blood flow and connection to your brain. And so all of these things are tied in together. The meditation, the yoga, the mind, body, spirit basically is what you're doing. Yeah. And it's great. I mean, you know, the meditation is great. Yeah. Even if you could take 5 minutes, you know, sit there 5 minutes. Little by little, you start training yourself, your brain, everything as to how to better align yourself with you. Because really, that's what you're trying to get to, your higher self. You're trying to get to your higher self to be more you, to get to
the essence of you and
and really to be grounded in something that is strong to the point where you're good. You know, you're good with you, and a lot of people are not good with themselves.
Yeah, I would think I was talking to my cousin during the holidays, and she was telling me how anxious she was feeling, that she had a lot of anxiety to the point that she would wake up kind of like stiff. Yeah. You know, and she was, and I recommended to her like meditation. She's like, you know, you're not the first person to tell me that. I'm like, I think you should try either meditation or exercise. Because the way I'm trying to look at exercise this year is not so much as to weight loss, but more like an anxiety thing, to get rid of anxiety. And even, I don't consider myself an anxious person per se, but sometimes I have a lot of things in my mind. That sometimes that exercise is just a way of like releasing it, listen to music instead, or, you know, talk to the person next to you, if that's the way, you know.
Even if you're unable to get to a gym, you can do it in your house. And even if you're not the kind of person that likes to jump around, exercise, or whatever, stretch. Put on stretchy clothes. Put on stretchy clothes to stretch. You know, get yourself a mat and start stretching. And just do light stretches, right? And that will help you immensely.
That helps too.
In the morning when you wake up, get up, go to the bathroom, do whatever you need to do, and then lightly stretch, raise your arms, stretch them out, raise them over your head.
Your back, your neck.
Yeah. Go, do a forward stretch.
Your feet.
Everything. Yeah. And that gives you flow. That gives you some sort of movement.
I'm stretching right now.
Yes. It's great for your body. I do it all the time. If I'm sitting for a long period of time, get up.
Especially if your
in your
job
office think you're weird, then you're weird.
If your job requires you supposed to be sitting down, which ours does, let me tell you, when I got up from that desk, I'm like, I look like a freaking 80-year-old. I'm crippled.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
You need to get up, stretch in your office.
Get up every couple of hours. Get up, walk around.
Not even. It's recommended that you get up every 30 minutes. And
My goodness.
Do a little stretch.
My boss will be like, "What are you doing?"
No, but you don't have to walk away from your desk.
No,
as you
of course.
Stand up at your desk.
Yeah.
Not on your desk, because then you'll be really weird. But you start,
You know what? You do you.
Arms,
you do you.
Stretch do your little wrist circles.
Yeah, that's true.
Stuff.
Well, you know how they have those desks now that are like standing desks?
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. Well, they've had that, because supposedly that's good for you too.
No, but can you imagine standing for 7 hours?
No. I mean, I don't think you should do either the whole time. But sometimes I do stand up at my desk and I, do, check my email or whatever, or finish something, because sometimes I need to, I really feel that I need to, stand up and walk and stop and move, because...
I've been known to stand up and just start doing all my stretching exercises, and everybody starts laughing at me. I was like, I don't care. I'm doing it, I don't care. My boss would walk out of the office and he would be like, what the hell are you doing? And I was like, I'm stretching.
I'm stretching.
He's like, okay, keep walking. But there's another form of meditation which is very popular too, and I think it's very good for people that have a very hard time concentrating and doing it on their own, is guided meditation. Now, I've done that as well.
I think I've tried it once.
And it's actually pretty good, because if you're the type that you cannot do it on your own, you don't have discipline, and you need somebody to do it for you, and basically you sit there and you try to get in that mode. You can attend a guided meditation session, or you can Google on YouTube. They have tons of guided meditation.
No, they even have it on your TV. If you have a smart TV, or if you have on demand, they have classes there too, and they have apps too. Isn't that one called Ob? Something like that. Obey. It's something Obey, OBAI, I think. They have yoga and they have meditation.
I know a lot of these apps, they have yoga, meditation, and all that. But most of them you have to pay for them. They give you a free trial thing. The best thing is YouTube, because you get on YouTube, everything's free. You get on your search bar, you type in guided meditation, and they have some that are high frequency ones that are the frequency meditation. I don't like those.
What does that mean?
That's just there's a certain frequency that you have to get to in these guided meditations that it puts you in a different mode of meditation. I don't know. I think it's weird, but anyway, I'm regular schmegler, traditional. I don't need all this other stuff.
Free 99.
Yeah. So the guided meditations, I actually found one that I really liked, and I saved it. We can always put it on our story, or link it in one of the posts. And this one is very good because it gives you a lot of relaxation. It teaches you different grounding methods and all that kind of stuff, which I thought was very interesting and good for somebody who's beginning. And then, you go into your guided meditation. You also, when you're doing your meditation, in some of the classes that I've gone to that have been guided meditation, they do a lot of chanting. So it's mantra based.
Okay.
And you can create your own mantra. You can sit in your space, whatever space in your house that is, or in your yard, or wherever you are, and you could create a mantra. It's I am worthy, and you keep on repeating that, and that could be your mantra. You could say, I forgive myself for XYZ,
whatever,
and you keep on repeating that. That could be a mantra. You could say, I am enough, I am this, I am that, I am, whatever mantra that could be uplifting, that is positive, that will be beneficial for you depending on your circumstance, you repeat that over and over and over again.
Okay, so this is what comes to mind. Wait, is that the things that sound kind of like the Catholic thing that I like?
Yeah, it's like when the priest is like,
yeah. Is that what it's supposed to sound like?
And so one of the really famous things that is repeated all the time in meditation is Om. Om. And then the longer you do it, you feel the vibration. It's a vibrational thing, and that's supposed to center you. That's supposed to bring you, peace, and you just repeat it.
What is that supposed to stand for?
The Om is a peace. It's basically a repetitive sound that you make that brings you peace, that brings you center. It connects you. It's one of the easiest things to say. Om. O-M.
O-M.
Om. You keep repeating it, and you can hear it when I'm saying it, like the vibration, and you feel it. And it just brings you, to me anyway, when I do it. And I seldom do it because I don't feel that I need to do it all the time, and I do it very rarely, once in a while. I recently did, the other day, a harmony balance mantra, and I thought that was very, very good, very beneficial. I think that as you're doing your meditation and you're in tune with your body and your mind, you will be guided as to what you need to get yourself back to center and to align yourself. At least that happens to me. And then, we can go into chakras, but chakras like totally different.
That's like another episode.
That can be its own episode. And then you have, your mudras, which is M-U-D-R-A. Mudras. And these are different hand gestures that you use when you're meditating, right? There's very famous ones that people connect their index finger to their thumb, and you make a little circle, and then your other fingers are straight up, and then you place them on your lap as you're meditating and whatever. And each mudra has a meaning.
Is it depending on the mudra? You have to place them on a specific part of the body while you're doing meditation.
Sometimes, yes.
Okay. Well, we'll put some pictures and stuff on our Instagram. You can check it out.
But it all depends, because some you have your arms straight out, some you have them folded in. Again, that takes practice, because to have your arms straight out for a certain amount of time, no one's used to that. So then you have to slowly build up to it. Yeah,
baby steps. People, please. At the beginning, quiet place. You do it for a couple minutes, then 5 minutes, and then your body, I think, will start telling you, I think you're ready for this. Like, try this now and try that. And
what I would highly recommend is, before you get into this, secluding everybody from your house and basically,
locking everybody.
¿Qué le pasó a esta?
Nobody can come in. 5:30, you're out. You got to figure out something else to do.
Oye, no me toco la puerta. I highly recommend being in your yard. Being in your yard, or if you take the kids to the park and they're running around, ground yourself, connect yourself, detach while you're in a park. You're sitting, you're in.
People will be too distracting. Too much ambient noise.
It's
no?
Not, it's not. Initially it will be, but eventually it will not. Because I do that. I take my daughter to the park and I sit there. So awesome. And you don't think about any of your problems, and you're just observing, and you see, the trees and the leaves and the this, and then while you're sitting there, you become aware of certain things that you've never seen before, and then that helps you, ground. That helps. That distracts you from everything else that you're normally thinking of.
I would think meditation would make me sleepy. I don't know.
Well,
do you ever I gotta go to sleep now?
There's people that claim that they fall asleep.
I think that would be me.
Yeah, but no. Okay. So when you meditate, don't lay down.
No, I wouldn't lay down.
Because there's some people that do that.
But just being like this with my eyes closed, I'll be like,
you can't lay down. Because if you lay down, you're going to go to sleep.
I'm not going to lie down.
No, but I was watching this thing one day where the guy
That's not meditation, that's sleep. That's taking a nap, people.
The guy was like, no, I was laying down trying to meditate. I'm like, no. You cannot lay down.
You were taking a nap. That's what you were doing.
And he fell asleep. Yeah, hello.
Duh.
And laying down equals instant sleep.
Oh my God.
I wish I could do that.
And don't meditate probably after you have a big dinner because you're going to be sleepy.
Yeah, no.
You can't do that either.
I think the most beneficial meditation is in the morning.
Do you think, like on an empty stomach? Do you think it's more beneficial?
Well, I meditate on an empty stomach.
You do? Okay. So these are the benefits of meditation. Enlightenment, obviously. Relaxation, obviously. Inner peace, definitely. You let go of negative energy. It connects your mind and body. You get to know your body better. It improves attention and concentration.
It really does.
Yeah. It reduces stress levels in your body. It lowers your heart rate. Yeah, definitely. Lowers your blood pressure. That would be great.
If you have high blood pressure.
Can you imagine? Like if you do that and then you have to be off medication, that's fantastic.
That's great.
Improves diabetic symptoms. Lowers your blood pressure. Reduces depression. Yeah. You manage better your chronic pain. And you regulate your body's reaction to stress and fatigue. And it reduces the possibility of burnout. Absolutely.
It really does.
Yeah.
And something that I was just thinking of too with the whole breathing. Think about it. Have you ever had a procedure done and when you hold your breath it hurts you more than if you just breathe? If you do deep breathing?
Never tried it, but
you should.
Yeah.
Because I've realized that when I'm okay, so when you're tense, your body tenses up. You're like a ball of knots, right?
Yeah.
And you're holding your breath. But when you're in a state of relaxation, you're breathing semi-normal, and your body is loose, for lack of a better word. But when you're having a procedure done, whether you go to the dentist, have you realized that when you go to the dentist, you're like cringing? Your body is like so tense, and then. And you're not breathing right, but then when you're doing that, it hurts more.
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
So this is like that. It's like...
It could be the lack of anesthesia, too. I don't know.
Well, we hope that if they're doing a freaking crown, like pulling out una muela,
right? You have, maybe that has something to do with it.
You don't want to be a martyr either.
No, but when you say that, I've heard this time and time again. Whenever, like, two people get in a car accident, one of them is drunk, let's say a drunk driver. Hit somebody else. Usually that other person, the person that's not drunk, suffers a lot more bodily injuries than the drunk person. And I've heard it's because the drunk person has no idea what they're doing. They're drunk. You cannot be more relaxed probably when you're drunk. So even when you hit somebody, like your body is not anticipating that shock, that reaction, that,
Right, because your defense mechanism is down.
So when the other person probably sees an accident is about to happen and you're tense up. And that's why that person has a lot more injuries.
Right. You have more pain. Yeah. You have more. So as you're breathing and you're meditating, you're releasing, right? You don't have all that tension. Yeah. You don't have the tension in your jaw, which can lead to TMJ, which a lot of people have, right? So I think when you're starting to do all these different exercises, you're releasing the tension from your body. You're releasing, like I find myself sometimes too, like when I'm in the middle of something and I'm like, I'm tense, I feel my jaw, even my jawline, tense.
Or you're like frowning, sometimes you don't even realize it that you're like, doing that. But yeah, I've heard of that time and time again. They're like, el que siempre está borracho nunca le pasa nada. Y la otra gente la que está es timbalada. And it's because of that, supposedly. Yeah. Anyway.
Yes.
So I'm going to try.
So try. Don't fall asleep. Don't lay down.
I'm not going to do it after I eat. And I'm not going to do it lying down.
No. That would constitute sleepy land.
That would be a nap. Which I can take like nobody's business.
Oh my goodness. I wish I could nap like that.
Oh my God. I can nap. You teach me how to meditate. I teach you how to nap.
Oh, deal.
Oh, and then another thing that we did along with this episode, and we're going to put the video on IGTV on our on our social media account, is this episode is like decluttering your mind and, how to cleanse your mind, spirit, and your body and your home. So check out that video on smudging, which is very important too if you want to have, start off the year right and declutter,
And throughout the year too, every few months you want to
Absolutely.
do a smudging of your home, of your car even.
Yeah.
You can do your car, you can do your person, you can do your people. Oye, todo el mundo sale para la terraza que te tengo que hacer un smudging. And then they're going,
While your significant other is sleeping, smudge him away. Palo Alto.
No, I wouldn't do that while they're sleeping because that if little ceniza falls and you got a fire going on, and then you have a problem. Pero,
anyway.
Yeah, you can do all of that. Every few months you need to do that. You just need to clear all the negative energy in your house.
Whenever something bad's going on in your life, you had a fight, something happens, like, I don't know, your finances are not going well, your job, there's arguing, like things like that. You're like, you know what? Let me take a little bit of time. Let me meditate. Let me smudge myself. Let me smudge the house. You have no idea how much that helps.
Yeah, there's different types also, which I don't think we covered in the video, but there's different types of sage that you can buy. You can buy white sage. They also have different scent of sages that you can buy. There's also lavender, which if you don't like the smell of sage, you can use lavender to sage your house. Palo Santo, which we do cover, that's very, very good for saging and cleansing yourself too and your energy.
Yeah. Well, those are the main, the two main ones, basic ones that you can find anywhere. But yeah, I mean, there's, depending on the scent that you like, I'm sure, and I'm sure they'll tell you like these have, if you want to do this for your house, use this one. If you want to focus on that, use that one. So like everything in life. Anyway, I hope you put these things into practice so you can have a lighter, more focused, less stressful year.
Yes, remember it's a you year. It's a happy you year. And hopefully this episode will help you somewhat. And like I said, you can always go on YouTube and search all the different forms of meditation, guided meditation. And there's a lot of free classes too throughout Miami where you can take free meditation.
For sure. Anyway, thank you for listening.
Thank you.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Hi everyone, we're on YouTube, Google Play Music, Spotify, Radio Public. Remember, share, like, and subscribe.